I recently booked a trip to go back to Minnesota to see family, do some other shenanigans. So I booked my flight, got my car rental, and I was on my way before I knew it. What I failed to notice at the time was my car rental was entirely electric. Right out of the gates, I want to point out I have no problem with electric vehicles. I think that if the majority of scientists are saying, hey, this is better for the environment, this is going to keep the earth from starting on fire, cool, that's great, that's fine. It was not for me. Okay, it was not for me. In this particular situation, this electric car was nightmare fuel. And I would gladly watch Earth burn to the ground than have to drive in one of these things again. Let me paint you a picture so you know what the hell happened. I got home to Minnesota. The airport was buzzing with people. I had to get my rental car. I go up there. Apparently everyone used budget car rental and Avis or whatever the fuck it's called. The line was insane. It took me an hour. It was like I was standing in the line for the worst ride at Disney. I get up there, get my paperwork, cross my T's, dot my I's, and I go to the parking garage where this thing is gonna be. Well, it's a zoo down there too. A young guy runs up to me. He goes, hey, okay, you got the smallest, shittiest piece of crap car we have available. It's over there. Is that gonna work for you? I have barely any time to look at this thing before he's gone. It is truly the smallest car I've ever laid eyes on. It's a Chevy Bolt. Just look up a picture and you'll see the comicalness of this. The thing is a micro machine. I could pick it up and throw it like I'm Hulk because it's so small. There's no trunk at all. I'm meeting my wife and kids who have already been in Minnesota for a week. I had to stay back and work. So there's 4 of us with a bunch of luggage that will in no way, shape, or form fit in this disgustingly small, comically dumb vehicle. But we'll make it work. Luggage can go on laps. Luggage can go on my head. I don't care. We'll make it happen, okay? I already paid for this stupid thing. Immediately when I fire up the engine, I realize it is fully battery powered. There's no gas in this thing, which is a problem when you have to drive an hour to get to your destination. I'm gonna be honest, I've never been in one of these before. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was doing. And before I get any further, this was entirely 100% my fault. I didn't pay attention to the fact that it said EV Bolt. I just saw a small looking SUV that would do the job. Barely paid attention. Buyer beware. It's my fault. You don't need to be a prick in the comments. I get it. I'm stupid. Let's move on. After sitting in traffic for an hour and a half, I make it to my destination. Short for destination. Everybody's excited to see me, but in the back of my mind, I'm just dreading the fact that I have this electric powered vehicle and I don't even know how to fill it up. If you've ever been to Minnesota and not in the cities, you'll know that there's a lot of rural areas, there's a lot of farming, there's a lot of countryside and long stretches of navigation to get from point A to point B. I was staying with the in-laws. They live out in the country, out in the middle of nowhere, in buttfuck America. So finding a gas station takes 20 minutes by itself. Now, knowing that Minnesota is a pretty progressive state, they are kind of at the forefront of tech and whatnot, I just foolishly assumed that most gas stations in 2024 were equipped with a battery charging unit. Something I can plug this car into and get where I need to go. I was wrong. Charting a destination was no easy task, but I did manage to find a location. There was a gas station 15 miles down the road that had EV-powered stations for me, so I beeline it there. Early in the morning, get in, get out. I don't really know how long it takes to charge one of these things. I assume maybe 15, 20 minutes tops. God, no. Not even close. Not that it mattered. Because when I got to the gas station and finally found these magical battery pumps around the side of the building, it turns out they're Tesla only. They're Tesla exclusive. That didn't stop me from popping the tank open and trying to shove that battery plug right in. It didn't work. Forcefully, not gonna happen. I then go on Google, find out that there are adapters and things that come with the car, or maybe you purchase separately. It doesn't matter. I don't have it, but I'm gonna think I do. That you can use with the Tesla station. So I look in the trunk of this Chevy car. I find that there actually is a cable. They provided something for me. That's nice. Alas, it doesn't work with the Tesla station, but now I'm thinking, holy shit, I have an actual plug that goes into an outlet. I can charge this thing? That's sweet. It's at this time that I'm noticing my battery has been drained significantly. I only have about 30 miles before this thing's gonna be completely depleted. What a fun vacation this has been! I start driving around local areas, seeing if I can find an outlet on the outside of a grocery store, a gas station, somewhere where I can plug this in just to get an idea of how long it's gonna take to charge on a regular outlet. After wasting another 5 or 6 miles of gas, I just decided, well, I'll just go back to the house. I'll plug it in outside there. But then I thought, I don't need to do that. I can just look up online. With the power of the internet, I can find out how long these things take to charge. And that's when I was hit with a bombshell, like a ton of bricks. When you plug this particular model into an outlet, it's going to vary a bit from charge to charge, but the takeaway here is if you plug this in for an hour, you're going to get about 4 miles. 4 miles to the charge in an hour. So even if I were to run this thing overnight, we're talking 40 miles max. If you live in the city or a small town and there's maybe not a lot of traffic, or you just have it all kind of planned out ahead of time, not a big deal. But for someone renting the car who has to drive hours and hours different directions with a family, trying to get to a funeral, trying to get to a meeting, trying to get to a parent's house, it's not a good situation. All on me, all my fault. But still, why are they renting these out even? My father-in-law suggests, rightfully so, why don't you just take it up to the dealership, dipshit? They'll have the charging stations there and those will be way better. All right, well, we are in the middle of nowhere. Let's see if there is a Chevy dealership in the middle of a cornfield. I search it, and lo and behold, there was one about 10 miles the other direction. So I'm back in the car. What a fun vacation this has been so far. I get up to the dealership, not knowing the amount of time it's going to take, but again, we got the highest powered charging stations known to man over the dealership. This is what, maybe a 45-minute job for a full tank? No! There are 3 stations to charge at, all of them taken. So I go inside, I chat with one of the gentlemen working there. He's very nice, a lovely individual. He is gonna move one of the cars for me. I'm sweating bullets, I got places to be, I got things to do. I don't know how long it's gonna take. He moves the car out, we put mine in, he looks at the battery and goes, wow, you really got this thing down to nothing, didn't you? Yeah! Fuck you! He plugs it in and tells me, okay, for a full charge, we're looking at around 8 hours. 8 hours! At the minimum, I'm gonna be there for a couple before I can get rid of this piece of shit and get a gas hog, which is what I'm about to do. I let it charge for a while, I take it to another budget, I throw the key at the guy and say, give me something that's not going to be a nightmare. The guy looks it over and goes, oh yeah, we got one of those electric cars. I never sell it, and it always stays on the lot. Oh, then maybe you shouldn't be renting them out, because there's too many dumbasses like me that don't realize they rented it, and then they're stuck with it. It's just a bad situation, and it's one that I don't wish on my worst enemy. Maybe the neighbor with the blue bag, but no one else. It was my nightmare. But now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been in a situation like this? Have you driven one of these electric vehicles? Maybe you own one, and you know the dance, you know the playbook, you know that you charge it overnight, you make sure that it's cuddled, you make sure that it's cared for properly, and then there's no problem. I think these vehicles are nice for planners. I think they're nice for people that really map out their day-to-day and have their life locked down. But someone like me, this is not a good fit right now. Not until these batteries can hold a lot more power and they can go a lot farther. Probably the Teslas. I'm sure Teslas are better, but not this little shitty Bolt that I got. This thing's a disaster. And I did kind of laugh because I was in Rochester, which is, kind of a small version of the Twin Cities. I was in downtown. A lot of trendy stuff, a lot of, up and coming things there. And I went to the parking lot and they had 2 charge stations. Every time I was there for the couple days, they were taken. What do these people do if they don't have a charge station? There's 2 of them. That's not a lot. Are they going to have to just wander around the parking lot waiting for one of these people to leave? Do they have a camera out there mounted so they can monitor the situation? Do they live their lives at the will of the car? Are they beholden to the car now? They're out with friends or something. Beep, 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 beep. They get an indicator that there's movement at the camera, so the car that was there is leaving. Guys, I gotta go. I gotta go charge my car. The slot just opened. I have to get in there. And it's taken. Sorry, I'm good. We can stay and dance. I'll figure it out. I know that you get a charging station with the car that you hook up in your garage. It probably charges it way faster and it's not even a problem. But again, I'm renting this, all right? I'm a fish out of water. I'm out of my element. Let me know in the comments if you've been in a situation or if you have one of these vehicles and if you've had problems with it. Please like the video. Subscribe to the channel, Adam Does Rants. I'm ranting about a bunch of first world problems every week. Would love to have you stick around. Maybe you know about my main channel, Adam Does Movies. It is what it is. I do rants, I do movies, two different things, both fun. If you really like what I'm doing, maybe leave a super thanks on this video. This channel doesn't make any revenue yet. It's still in its infancy, still growing it, but I do have super thanks. So you could leave a couple bucks, say, hey, Adam, I love this. I relate to this. Keep it going. I have Patreon at patreon.com/AdamDoesMovies. These are just a couple ways you can keep the batteries running over here, and I would appreciate it. All right, hopefully I catch you next time. Take care.